We saw how the release at the Cannes Film Festival of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny completely backfired on Lucasfilm. They thought the elites, the critics, they thought they were going to love it. In fact, no, they were very, very split. And some of the things the critics were saying had fans worried because it's exactly what fans were worried about. That Phoebe Waller-Bridge leads around Harrison Ford's Indiana Jones the entire movie, that she overshadows him, that it's an old, broken Indiana Jones. And now that this movie's been seen by so many people, we do have some leaks out there that confirm, if they're right, everyone's worst fears. And it's a very in-detailed leak of this movie. Alleged Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny plot leak claims Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character makes the heroic choice to knock out Indiana Jones to protect history.
Oh, no.
And to put this in perspective, after they use the Dial of Destiny to travel back in time, according to these spoilers, Indiana Jones wants to stay there because there's nothing for him in 1969. There's nothing for him in that world anymore. His life's terrible. His life's ruined. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge is like, no, you can't stay here. You'll change history. You'll ruin the course of history. You'll ruin the world. And Indiana Jones still doesn't want to come back. So she knocks him out and drags him back to the future, where she is the one that saves the day. She is the one that can't convince him to do the right thing. So she has to punch him and knock him out in order to save the entire world, to save history itself.
Oh my God.
Let's get into some of the details here. So long story short, there's a lot of plot leaks. We knew for a while when we saw those like Roman soldiers and everything in the leaked footage and leaked pictures that they were going to do this time travel thing. And yes, they travel like back 2,000 years, defeat the enemy, blah, blah, blah. But from there, it details that Indiana Jones does not want to return to his present, but would rather stay there because he believes there's nothing for him in 1969. In contrast, Helena attempts to convince Indy to return to the present, believing if he stays in the past, he would change the course of history. Indy apparently is unconvinced by Helena's arguments, so she resorts to punching him and knocking him out. When Indy awakes back in 1969, he's in his bed. He then reproaches Helena for having brought him back to the present, even though there's nothing for him there. However, Helena counters there is something for him to continue living for, and Marion shows up in his apartment with groceries. Keep in mind, we know from the trailer and everything that Indiana Jones is like going through a divorce. That they killed off his son. They killed off Shia LaBeouf, who died in the Vietnam War, apparently. And he's getting a divorce. He's an old,
Jesus
broken,
Christ,
bitter
dude.
old man who has nothing going on. But Helena convinces him to come back, and then everything is okay. What do you think about that, Jeremy?
This sounds like a Kathleen Kennedy production right here. Holy shit. This is incredibly bad. And they can't even, again, they haven't even won over the shills on this one. You know what I mean? Even the shills aren't praising it based on what we're hearing. But yeah, I mean, this is why every project that is announced by Lucasfilm Disney, people have their doubts, people are concerned, people are worried, because we've seen this time and time and time again, the feminist propaganda. And that is what this is. This is feminist propaganda. This is anti-male feminist propaganda. Once again, Harrison Ford being cucked once again with one of his iconic characters. And you really can't make this stuff up. You cannot make it up. But yeah, I 100% believe it. And this is Kathleen Kennedy. Apparently, this is her, this has been rumored, but of course, who knows about Kathleen Kennedy rumors? I look at it from a perspective of her age, and I have to imagine she is definitely towards the end of her run, simply from her age standpoint, not because Lucasfilm wants to get rid of her, because clearly they don't, because she's there, and she's going to be there until she wants to leave. But this has been kind of promoted as her kind of, her swan song or whatever. And it sounds like exactly what you would expect from Kathleen Kennedy.
I guess that's just what they want to do with Harrison Ford's characters at Lucasfilm. Say whatever you will about Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. At the end of that movie, him and Marion get married. They're like ready to start this life that they feel like has probably, been on pause for a long time. They get reconnected. They have this son. They have this family. It's a good ending. To immediately erase that in this movie, to kill off Shia LaBeouf's character, and to have him just an old, bitter old man going through divorce and has nothing to live for. And he's at the end of his life and has nothing to live for. Sounds a lot like fucking Harrison Ford in Han Solo and Force Awakens, to be honest with you. But just to try to then recapture that reconnection between them, the same thing that they just did in the last movie, It's just bullshit, man. And the fact that Indiana Jones, that this dude who will do anything to preserve history, right, would not go back, would risk changing the course of history and disrupting everything because he's just this bitter, broken old man. That's not Indiana Jones.
It's more character assassination. What
For
they're good
Phoebe
at.
Waller-Bridge's character to be the moral compass for Indiana Jones is laughable. And if these are true, which they're really detailed, this movie's been seen by a lot of people. I don't really have a reason to believe that they're not at least somewhat accurate. That's embarrassing.